In this video, we shall be taking a look at approximation. At the end of this video, you will be able to 1. Know what approximation is. 2. Approximate a given set of numbers. So, what is approximation? Approximation means not exact, but close enough to be used. It is a very way by which numbers are corrected to the nearest whole numbers or units of measure. Approximation is done in our everyday activities. Example, if I say a price of a various goods or commodities can be approximated. So, if the price of a pack of sweets is 48 naira, I could say 15 naira. What I have just done here is that I approximated 48 to 50. And the symbol for approximation is this. Can you see that? Now, let us see how numbers are approximated. Approximation of numbers. In approximation, we could round off to the nearest unit, 10, 100, thousands, etc. Recall, I taught you this in place value in one of our videos. So, when rounding off, it is done in two forms. 1. Rounding up. Can you see that? Rounding up. When rounding up, the value to which you are rounding up to, when the next value to be before it is equal or greater than 5, it becomes 1 and it is added to the digits we are considering. You understand this better when we solve an example. And 2. Rounding down. When the digits of a number we are rounding off is less than 5, we round down to 0. So now let's look at some example to give you a better understanding of what I'm saying. Example 1 says, round off the following to the nearest 10, 100, 1000. 1. 728453 and 2. 431942. So how do we solve the first one? The solution says we should round off 728453 to the nearest 10, to the nearest 100, and to the nearest 1000. So let's round up to the nearest 10. When rounding up to the nearest 10, remember I taught you in place value, counting or starting from the right hand side of the value. So considering this number 728453 now, starting from the right hand side, my 3 is in the unit what? Place value. Do you understand? Can you remember now? Okay, good. My 5 is in the 10 place value. Good. This is where I'm going. My 5 is in the 10 place value. So, and we are rounding off to the nearest 10. So, we are stopping at that 5. So, the next, the number before it from my right hand side is 3. And because 3 is less than 5, what do I round it up to? 0. So, it will now give me my answer to be 728450. That means I've rounded this to the nearest 10. So, the question says we should round it off to the nearest 100 too. So, how do I do this? I start from the right hand side too. So, my 3 is in the unit place value. My 5 is in the 10th place value. And the next value to it is what? 4, which is in the 100 place value. So, we are considering 4 now. So, and the number before it to the from the right is 5. And remember I told you that when it is 5 or less than 5, what do? You round it off to 1 and you add the 1 to the value we are considering, which is 4. So if you add 1 to my 4 now, I have 5. So which gives me an answer of 728500. Do you understand that now? So let's move to the next solution. We are asked to round off that number to the nearest 1000 too. So starting from the right hand side again, my 3 is in the units place value, 5 is in the tenth place value, 4 is in the 100 place value, 8 will now be in the 1000 place value. So we are considering 8, and the number before 8 from my right hand side is what? 4. Since 4 is less than 5, we round it off to 0. Can you see that? So it will now leave my answer to be 728000 to the nearest 1000. So let's solve example 2. Example 2 says we should round off 431942 to the nearest 10, 100 and 1000. So rounding off to the nearest 10 now, starting from the right hand side, my 2 is in the units place value, my 4 is in the 10 place value. So we are considering 4, and the number before it from the right is what? 2. So we round off 2 to 0 because it is not greater than 5 and because it is less than 5. So we round it off to 0. So that will now give our answer to be 431940 to the nearest 10. So let's do this again. We are rounding off to the nearest 100 now. So which of the digits fall into the 100 place value? If we check, so if I start from my right also, I have 2 in units, 4 in 10, 9 is in the 100 place value. So the next number before it is 4. I round 4 down to 0, which will now leave my answer to be 431900 to the nearest 100. So the third one says we should round off to the nearest 1000. So 2 is in the units place value, 4 is in the 10 place value, 9 is in the 100, so 1 is in the 1000 place value. The number before 9 from the right, before 1 from the right is what? 9. And because this is greater than 5, we round it off to 1, up to 1, and we add it to the number we are considering, which is 1. So if I add 1 to 1, it gives me 2. So I have my answer to be 432000 to the nearest 1000. So let's solve another example. Example 2 says approximate 45894 to the nearest 10,000 and 2 to the nearest 10. How do we do this? We check which of the digits of the number falls to the nearest 10,000. So starting from the right also, my 4 is in the unit place value, my 9 is in the 10 place value, my 8 is in the 100 place value, my 5 is in the 1000 place value. So the next digit to it is 4, which is in the 10,000 place value. Can you see that? So how do I do this? The number from the right before it is 5. We round this up to 1 and add it to the number we are considering, which is 4. So if I add 4 to 1, it gives me 5. So my answer will be 5000 to the nearest 10,000. So example 2 say we should round it off to the nearest 10 also. So in these numbers, the digits that falls in the 10 place value here is 9. So and the number before it from the right is 4. So what do? We round it off to 0 because it is less than 5 also. So which leaves our answer to be 4500 890.